to introduce our special guest and my dear sister in the Tao, Renew Lee, a woman on her way. Renew has been practicing the Tao for the past 35 years, following her passions, exploring the body and its Taoist healing arts to guide women back into loving themselves, accessing their inherent sexual power to heal and blossom with gentle, loving support. Welcome, Renew. It's so great to see you here at the summit.
Well, thank you, Sharon, for inviting me and having this space to share.
Wonderful. So, in a world where the yang qualities are overused and sometimes misdirected, you have chosen to focus your Qigong work on the divine feminine, or the yin force. You have created a beautiful system called Yin Dao that combines traditional female Tao practices with the latest in neurophysiological knowledge. Can you tell us about Yin Dao and why and how you came to this path?
It's actually, it's like, I wouldn't even say I invented anything, but it was a growth into it by studying all these beautiful Qigong practices, mainly with men. And discovering more and more by doing the practices and relating to my body and finding more self-assurance and deepening my perception and feeling, I would notice things would move different, go different, and that I would need more atmosphere, more time, and especially more yin quality, as I would call the times of simply feeling and creating this special, I would call it hormonal cocktail with all the special ingredients our body needs to adjust. Do you know that we have, and these are the ones that have been discovered, 50 different types of estrogen? Now you can imagine that the way we smile to our body, the state of emotions, the state of our mind and directing a practice will emphasize the special cocktail. And that again will determine how our body functions, how we feel, how our health is, and on top of it will guide us on the spiritual way.
Wow. 50 different kinds of estrogen. That's really eye-opening for me.
Yeah. And I found it so incredible in relation to the emotions, and relation to your attitude, to your intention when you do a practice. So the same practice done with a different approach, with different feelings, with different contractions of your pelvic floor and these special ingredients of what I call the earth's kisses when you use really your pelvis, your pelvic floor, breathing with your sexual organs, how you can really bring upon this special quality.
Uh-huh. And it's been pretty obvious that now there are many women who are practicing as well as teaching Qigong practices, especially for women.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's important for women to cultivate using practices that are specifically for them? Or for us, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's crucial, and it's where everything is moving to. When you look at how we ended up in what we're having right now, the situation we are all living in, with an earth that is really having problems in terms of climate, in terms of health. And now I'm looking at this globally and how we live as humankind together. It seems that the force that was guiding us for so long, which was more yang oriented, totally goal oriented, it was about growing, 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 more, and it's still going. Our corporations, these huge firms that are exploiting our earth, are still going in this direction. So I'm really, really happy that more and more women are claiming their inherent power, which is not the yang, which is not like being like a man and following the rules of society as is, but nurturing a new way, bringing upon change that is really in alignment with earth, with the true feminine, nourishing, taking care, this motherly energy, which is part of every woman. If she has children or not, this is inherent to a woman. This energy of heart. In the Tao, we know the main energy center is the heart. So really, in whatever way, and there is, I know many women out there who are doing different types of practices supporting women on their path. And we need more of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, I wanted to talk about this eventually, but since it's just now coming up, one of the exciting and emerging themes in this summit is a vision of Qigong practice as contributing to the transformation of our world on a global scale. And so I'm just wondering, from your point of view, how can women's cultivation of their sexual energy contribute to this ongoing global transformation?
My feeling and also my experience is if I, even just as one woman, work on my physical and emotional health in connection with my inner family, my organs, my cells, in connection with my birth family, and that then extends, from ancestors, from guides into humankind. So that little thing I do to maintain my health, to guard what I do, how I consume, how I eat, will make a difference in the whole picture. And if everyone will do this, of course we will have an immediate change. And I do believe that at this point, this special energy of women and being connected, of course, with the sexual energy is absolutely crucial because it's the strongest force in the body. It's the healing, the renewing. That's my name. It's a renewing every cell of your body. It's the procreational energy, not for sex, not for only for making children. It's for healing. That's really, in my eyes, the very first step, or the continuation of, if you, like us, who reach an age where we become older and more wise. And that's also the beauty of getting older, is that all of a sudden you perceive all what comes together. And this is so powerful that the elder women, and all women of course, but especially also the elder women in this society, don't need to claim anymore it's about beauty, but it's about this sense of healing power, and to distribute this wisdom into the world, and to really take on that power which we all own. And I just invite every single woman to do that, and to claim it, and to guide other women. Make small circles. It doesn't need to be big to do this work.
Mhm. Yes, 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 and yes. So, can you talk a little bit more about how to use sexual energy for healing? I think
Oh,
that a lot of people feel that they they know what sex is, but they don't understand what sexual energy is. And, there's a lot to say about that. And I'm sure you can say a lot about it.
I just finished a 10-week cycle guiding women through, learning to get in touch with this inherent power, and especially this misconception that sex has to do with making love with another person, has to do with a loud orgasm with climax. And this is really not what I like to guide women into. Not, of course, it can happen, but the incentive is to get in touch with your pelvis, to learn how this all plays together. So the anatomy and how our organs work is the first step. You learn to look at your body. You learn you have a vulva. That's the outer part of your sexual organs, with lips that can be small and big, and they're all different, and there is so much variety, and it's all about feeling that. There is an organ we all have, it's called glitterous. There's even a flower named like it, and it's the organ in our feminine body that has no other use but giving us pleasure. So you told me to do a little practice. So I'm spontaneous. I'm breaking the little rule by take your fingertips and gently tap your pubic bone. Just your pubic bone. You don't even have to get up. I go back and sit down too. But just tap your pubic bone. Ooh, vibration. Actually, in the Tao, we have this bamboo beaters, which are a great tool to vibrate. Bring vibration in your tissues. Make them become alive again, juicy. And what happens the moment you do this tapping, you do this feeling, and maybe even a little, I call it earth kiss, making a kiss with your pelvic floor. No contraction. See, this is like all about gentle, soft, little movement, continuously breathing, feeling, smiling, allowing yourself to very naturally being in touch with sexual organs, which we may have, all these memories from our mothers and grandmothers. This is dirty, don't do it, don't be too hot, don't be too sexy. And I invite you to access exactly that energy. The energy that makes you sexy and alive. And it's nothing explosive, but it's a most gentle energy. And it's actually very simple to get in touch with it. And when you do it slowly, in a safe environment, like now, online teaching is perfect for this type of work. You're at home, you're in your known setting. You can arrive home in your body and breathe and start feeling again that source inside your pelvis. So step by step, practice by practice, and this can't be done in 2 minutes. But the first feeling, yes, and depending on how open you are, already now by having just done a few contractions, I assure you, hello, there is some energy waking up, and oh, it's getting warmer. The feedback I'm getting after doing all this work from women who, especially with the online setting, are not afraid to speak up because they feel so safe is incredible. Little steps, learning the connection with your pelvic floor and your brain. What happens when the cocktail of hormones changes because you connect your sexual organs with positive energy. And the magic is smile. Simple. And it's the most incredible thing about the smile is that even if you feel weird and you don't feel like smiling, if you pull up the corners of your mouth long enough, this muscle called the masseter muscle will create again how you a substance sent to our brain that gives you a well feeling.
Yeah,
Sometimes
those,
missing the English words.
yeah, yeah, the neurotransmitters and the really good happy hormones are all activated by just smiling, you know? And it seems so simple. Yes, of course, when you're happy, you feel good. So how can you activate that happiness? How can you activate that inner smile? And it was interesting to hear you talk about the muscles of the face because I know that you were trained as a physical therapist and you also have studied lots of different body work modalities. And I'm wondering about how the knowledge that you've accumulated over the years as a physical body work practitioner has informed your teaching of these practices and and you know how much anatomy do we need to know about ourselves? I mean, some people are like, oh, I don't want to know about all of that stuff. um yeah, go
I
for it.
think I think it's incredible, beautiful to really learn about the body and how it all functions. I'm intrigued by it, and I always find a very playful way. When I learned it in school, it was dry. It was terrible. And I have a dear colleague I work with, a dear friend of mine, Katalix Cunard, who is an osteopath, and she was actually the one who got me hooked on anatomy and physiology because this woman can make a performance of a pancreas that rocks you from your feet and makes you smile all over. And from that day on, if you don't chew well and your pancreas gets fed up, you're going to burp all afternoon and you're this overcritical person because all this digestion and integration process isn't functioning anymore. And realizing your pancreas is working in union with your thyroid and parathyroid, knowing how many women are having problems. Hashimoto is like an epidemic, this thing is just shutting off. And we find there is all this, not there is a connection we already know physiologically, but what the scientists don't know is that we can create by the hormones, by the smile, by the setting we accelerate through the practice in the body will make a difference. And it's a completely different healing approach.
Yes. And
Very
yeah,
intrigued.
because Qigong actually works on the internal environment, what they're now calling epigenetics, the environment around your genes, the environment around your organs. And that's one of the beautiful things about practice is, over time you create these new kind of pathways, new places for these juicy hormones to move, and then one day, wow, you're different.
Yeah, and really new synapses
Yeah,
are being continuously connecting, rewiring your whole system with the practice.
right.
And this is
So,
so amazing.
yeah. So, Renew, I know that people in our audience would love for you to lead us in a short practice.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've experienced your practice before, so I know what
Okay.
it's like. But
Uh,
out there, yes.
Knowing that we don't have much time, I don't do a standing up Qigong set. There may be other teachers doing that. We are in a Qigong Summit, so you may be familiar in your natural stance. And I invite you to assume, to go into your natural position, sitting on a chair, sitting on the bones inside your buttocks. And I do get up one time. I have to show you this one gesture. And it is again very simple because we sit so much. And the gesture is you take your hand, you put it on your buttocks, and you feel where the sitting bone is. And then you grab the muscle and you shake your buttocks. And you will feel the vibration moving from that bone into your pelvic floor. And there's actually a saying in German, when you sit too long, your buttocks contracts and you are Arsch verspannt, meaning also you're definitely an asshole, sorry my language. But having a tight buttocks, it gives you pain in your back, gives you pain in your legs. So that simple gesture, you set too much, grab your buttocks and shake it. I tell you, it will do something to you. If this is all you take from my little talk, you took something extremely valuable, because, and that guides me through my next practice, is that most people and most women are tense in the pelvic floor, are tense in the lower abdomen. So the first thing I invite you to is settle inside your body. What makes you feel safe? Maybe you have to open your eyes and check. Get orientation where you are in your room. Okay, you are home. You're home in your apartment, in your house, in your room. And the next step is arrive home in your body. So close your eyes if you feel safe doing so. Take your hands and place them on your belly. A good position would be your thumbs are in the height of your navel and the hearts of your hands are touching and falling on your lower abdomen. Your tongue is touching the palate. The jaws are relaxed. And you blossom a radiant smile on your face, thinking of the most beautiful place you've ever been to. Nature, sunshine. For me, it's a picture this morning going out into my garden where the first morning light is glowing in the dew on my grass and my cherry tree is blossoming. What is your picture that makes you smile, that makes you sigh? Yes, arriving in your body just now, feeling your hands on your belly, and maybe you can even feel that when you inhale, your breath is moving all the way down to your belly. Because when you inhale, your lungs fill up, your diaphragm lowers, and that pushes out your belly. And when you exhale, there's a suction because the diaphragm moves up, the lungs empty, and the belly goes in, and you can suck it in a little bit, and the magic happens. Your pelvic floor moves up with that suction. And you can help it a little bit with the image as if you're kissing Mother Earth with those other lips. A sweet image. Innocent. Connected. So feel that rhythm. Find your rhythm. If at all. Maybe you discover, like many women I've met, that they get confused about inhaling and feeling the belly come out, exhaling, the belly goes in, which is a perfectly natural, physiological way your body moves by itself if we let it. Maybe we have re-educated ourselves. Maybe we have learned breathing techniques. Maybe we simply feel our belly is too fat, too big, and we suck it in all the time and having spandex alert in our closet, which is that tight elastic wear that doesn't allow you to breathe. Oh. No way. For a Tao yogini, you need to have a little belly. You need to move. And without that movement, there will be no juicy chinchi to work with. So keep breathing. Keep smiling. I try to make you a little bit light about this. This is not about being serious. This is about being you. You can even do a little giggle and see what it does in your belly. Yes, thank you, Sharon. That would be the next step to do, is having a giggle in your belly. Get the vibration from the smile in your belly. And if you giggle about the spandex alert, which would be a line we once had in a group of friends. If we see it, we would say, spandex alert. Okay, so feel warmth. Feel the breath and your pelvic floor moving with your breath. And this is already a deep practice. Natural breathing and feeling that when you inhale, your pelvic floor actually, it moves a little bit outward, I could say, extension, a little opening without sagging, but it's an opening. And when you exhale, suction, coming up, belly in, diaphragm up. And every time you do or even enforce that movement, but do it gentle, soft, little, because you need to grow into it. If you're already an advanced practitioner, you know your pelvic floor, then I invite you to breathe with your pelvic floor. Breathe with your vagina. And right away, there is signals being sent up in your body, into your brain, into your hypothalamus, the pineal gland, the epiphysis, how you call it, the pituitary gland, that's the word. Okay. All these glands, the master glands in the center of your brain, are being influenced by the waters that flow in your system. Now, this little practice I'm showing you here, to smile, to send a positive message of relaxation, of safety, of gentleness, of tenderness, because the next step would be to guide you into the creative cycle, moving from one organ to the next. opening the flow of positive feelings. For example, the gentleness, the trust. The gentleness will open the passage for trusting yourself, trusting your way, trusting your energy, and following, using that juiciness of your vagina, of your womb, to create water of life, to create vitality. Gently breathing, doing little pulsations with your pelvic floor, smiling to your kidneys, and growing the trust, water element, cultivating the water element in your body. That again will nourish the wood, the growth, your ability to extend your branches, ideas, and creativity into the world. Nourishing your tendons, your muscles, and your generosity of, oh yes, every little cell in your body deserves to get bathed in sexual energy, and your smile full of gratitude. The heart again will support, the liver will support your heart, and the fire of joy, of passion, of following your passage in unconditional love. Starting with yourself. The way you are, the way you interact, the way you are in this moment, in this world, with all your special effects. We all have something. We all have something. Okay, now you go on to your earth element, spleen, pancreas. Now your spleen connected with your thymus gland, immune system, strong. Your pancreas connected with your thyroid and parathyroid, your gland system in general. Deep stability, integration, openness. And from the earth grows the metal and your lung energy, the courage to do this, to be a woman on her way. So this is this simple little practice you center now in your navel. There's so much magic inside of you, so much power in every organ, and it's extremely simple to connect, but it needs a little practice. So I would love to take you by the hand and guide you more. Thank you. Take your hands and rub around your navel. This is a neurological integration when you do that. So I've been doing this practice for so long, and when I first learned it, it was like rub your belly. And then later on, I was so trained that I could only place my hand on the belly and I feel it. And now I re-inaugurated the rubbing because it does this neurological integration of what we just did. It's like, okay, I save it into my account, into my memory account, and charging my internal battery with this juicy energy that's my own. And I can create it. You have that device inside called happiness. Thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Renu.
You are so welcome.
And,
I love to do this.
I know. You have so much passion for your practice, and it's very inspiring.
Great.
I know that there are people out there who would love to be able to reach out to you and perhaps attend one of your online classes. Do you have anything coming up this summer?
Uh,
And how can they reach you?
Okay, my web page and my email address, I think, is being
Yeah,
delivered.
it's on the Summit
It's
website.
on exactly. So taoyoga.com, and I have to admit that I mainly teach in German. Especially with the lockdown, I'm here in my little studio, and I've been creating so many new classes, and it's all in German. So there is English teaching, and it will happen in the summer in Spain. There may even be a live session for women in Spain, in the vicinity of Barcelona, Girona. But other than that, I'm flexible, I'm open, and if there's enough demand, of course, I know with you, Sharon, there's so many beautiful women teaching in English that maybe I don't have to do it too, but if there's a demand, I will. I'm flexible, I'm open, I'm passionate about teaching, so let's see what happens. And if many people approach me, hell, we're gonna have an English speaking class.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much for such a beautiful and inspiring and passionate session. And for all of you out there in the audience, we appreciate you as well. We wouldn't do this if we didn't have an audience. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.